call Billy. When he was born, we were living in Leichhardt, but moved to Crown Road, Queenscliff, late 1911, as my husband William had been appointed the local police officer, where he became very involved in local activities. It became clear that this little suburb was bursting at the seams with dozens of children. Billy and all the other kids had to scramble down to Manly Public School, crossing the Queenscliff Lagoon, rain, hail or shine. Father William quickly became involved with all the other local fathers, establishing our very own freshwater public school, just in time for Billy, and he finished his final year there in 1912 as one of their first pupils. He was 14 by this time and obtained a position in Sydney as an apprentice tailor in 1913 with W.J. Proudfoot, working there until August 1915. I'll never forget that awful day, 4th of August 1914, when World War I was declared. Volunteers were asked to join the Australian Army in support of Great Britain and the British Empire to fight against the German Army. Billy was just full of it. He was only 16. It seemed half the boys in Freshwater were joining up. That's what he said. He was just so anxious to join the armed forces and serve overseas. There were arguments every night with his father and I about it. He reckoned they didn't check up on ages. He said he knew other lads going and they weren't 18 yet. And that's exactly what happened. On the 4th of August 1915, he went out to the Warwick Farm Enlistment Centre and signed the papers. He stated his age as 18 and 4 months when he was only 17 and 4 months. The officer completing the papers did not ask for proof of age. That's all it took for him to be marched into the army, and on the 2nd of November 1915, he boarded the troop ship Euripides, bound for overseas service. They weren't told of their destination in case the enemy found out. We did get a few letters through. By February 1916, he was in Egypt, training in tactics and warfare. After this, we didn't hear much. Late March 1916, Billy and the others boarded the troop ship Simla to Marseille, France. Then on the 19th of April 1916, he was posted to the 1st Australia Light Trench Mortar Battery, 4th Battalion. During 1916 and early 1917, Billy fought in the Battle of Pozieres, Moquet Farm and Bullecourt. Awful battles where thousands of Australians were killed or injured. At home it was constant bad news with boys dropping like flies. We know he did a trench mortar training course in July 1917, returned to his unit on the 9th of August 1917, after which the 4th Battalion engaged in the Battle of Passchendaele, Flanders, Belgium. It was during this battle that he lost his life on the 3rd of October 1917. He was only 19 and 5 months. Dad and I were never able to visit where our beautiful boy was buried at the Menengate Memorial Cemetery, Ypres, Flanders, Belgium. We shared our grief with dozens of our neighbours. With so many sons and husbands lost, we desperately needed somewhere to grieve. Many towns and villages came up with the idea to plant a special tree to each soldier's memory. Our good friend Mr. Holloway and his descendants are here today, donated the trees in this Memorial Street, Soldiers Avenue, from his nursery. This is our Billy's memorial tree, planted on the corner of Memorial Street and Soldiers Avenue by Dad and I. It didn't need to rain. Our tears did that. We might have lost our Billy, but he will be remembered always, even in 100 years' time, lest we forget.